He just said, he's not breathing, he's not breathing. And I'm like, first I thought he was talking about you. I was like, honey, who? And he's like, the dog.
Once you found out it was the dog, you were then concerned. When you thought it was me, you were just like, we need clarification. You are not lying.
Dreaming in red, white, and blue. Only in America. Where you can buy the drugs you want to.
They were like really busy preparing for the trial for the guy that chopped his wife's head off with a shovel.
Would you like to enlighten me with a little tale?
I will enlighten you. But this is going to be more fucked up than the fact the guy cut his wife's head off with a shovel. I really don't have any more details on that because at the time, that wasn't really that interesting compared to everything else that was going on in our life. So the prisoners are out there with fucking axes.
Did your dad really try to kill your mom? And
I didn't realize how well we were trained by the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Isn't that funny? You like a crunch bar?
Yeah, would you like a snack and a beverage while I, murder your father?
How do you know him? Are you related? That's my dad. And he's like,
we're going to be together forever. It's not good. It's not Jesus-in, but it ain't innocent. It ain't innocent, but it ain't wrong either. Okay, I just first want to start by saying this is not an ad, but this just happened. And being the type of person I am, I want to share this with my sister because she's important to me, but we're not doing it off mic. So I just got this Pixel 8 Pro, by the way, the official phone of the genderqueer community, apparently, according to Reddit. Anyway, it has this feature called Lens, Google Lens. And I've never used it before. My Pixel 7 had it too, but never used it. So I just took a little selfie of me and it's like, hey, bitch, did you know you could buy your glasses for $30? Haha, they used to be bougie. And then I was like, oh, your Coca-Cola t-shirt you're wearing, you could buy it from here for blah, blah, blah. But I was just messing around and I tried to zoom in on the Marine logo back there.
okay.
But the square was just a little too big, so it picked up my earring and the Marine logo. Now, again, I'm telling you this because it tells you shopping suggestions based on what's in there and where to buy it. So I want to show you what its suggested buy was when it caught my earring and part of the Marine Corps logo. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take off my headphones and I'm going to walk over to you.
Okay.
These are the earrings it suggested.
What the hell?
Vials of hormones on fish string that are your earrings. It was depot testosterone. But
Okie dokie.
that's what Google suggested to me. They're like, well, if you have a Pixel, obviously you're genderqueer. So, and if you like the Marines and you have earrings, clearly you need testosterone vial earrings.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
That targeted content.
That is wrong vial, but I mean, wow. But don't worry, there's options. You could get it with a single depot testosterone vial on each earring or for $12. Or on this wonderful Etsy shop, you could go with the double vials, 2 vials per ear for $16, only an extra bonus $4. It doesn't mention in the description what test the fishing line is. That's what I should get hung up on, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, good. All right. Anyway, we totally did not pause. For dinner to eat our Spanky's pizza.
No, not at all.
No. And we were talking about things. And as a matter of fact, Sandra was the last one to say anything. So she was in the middle of a sentence. So please carry on, Sandra. I don't remember where we were. So that's why I gave you that screw job.
We were talking about Christina's bibs.
Yes. She made it through. Oh, yeah. With the help of the corrections officer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was there any? Oh, yeah. And was there any other stories you wanted to tell about cotton? Spoiler alert for the first ride.
I'm sure there's something there, but it's probably repressed. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you ain't lying. So
You know, it's really weird. At any time in my life, even now, this is applicable. So my kidney disease
I forgot you had that.
has affected my entire life.
Yeah.
And aspects of my family's life. However,
we just always have just associated Sandra with being an inconvenience. That's where you were going, right?
Well, part of it, that has not, people are always like, oh, how do you do it? And it's like, how do I tell people, that's not always the worst thing going on in my life. It's just a little extra.
It's the pepper on the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to compare it to, you're at Old Country Buffet and you get the buffet and then you find out they put out fresh buttered yeast rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Little extra.
Yeah. I don't know. And this probably sounds like a no shit sort of thing, but I've never held your kidney disease against you, as shallow as a person as I am. I've always just been yeah, it's just some shit.
That's kind of what it is.
It's people are like, oh, wow, that must be a lot to deal with, making sure your sister's good and taking care of all that stuff. And I've always been like, what? I've never lived a life where that was optional.
Yeah, well, there are some people I've met that really, it blows them out of the water that I have that going on, and they want to talk about it every time they see me.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
We've been praying for you at our church.
Oh, you've been there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Forever.
We have lit a candle for you. You are in all of our prayers. We have you on the Wednesday night prayer group, not just the Sunday service. We also pray for you at Bible study on Saturdays, as well as the group meetings on Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, there are sometimes.
Can I get some help with my prescriptions? We've been saying prayers for you.
Oh, ain't that the truth? Holy shit.
You got at least one family member that was like, you know what? We should probably pay for your prescriptions. Let me sell some drugs. That family member will remain anonymous.
Uh-huh.
Even if it is past the statute of limitations. I'm living back in this community now.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah.
We won't go there. So anytime I run into people I haven't talked to.
By the way, the irony of selling drugs to buy drugs.
Yeah.
To buy legal ones.
Uh-huh.
That's a statement on our healthcare system in this country.
Only in America,
You are not lying.
dreaming in red, white, and blue. Only in America,
Oh,
where you can buy the drugs you want to.
yeah. Yeah, and sadly, the only affordable drugs without insurance are the illegal ones.
Yep. Ain't that something?
Anyway. And by the way, even if you're buying legal drugs illegally, if you're buying opiates, why is it cheaper to buy it from sketchy dude named Dude who lives in that house, by that store on the corner than it is to walk into Walgreens?
Yeah. Isn't that
For
funny?
the same fucking pills.
Mm-hmm.
It's rhetorical. I was not looking for an answer. And, but yeah, your kidney disease has always been very inconvenient for everyone around you. And you're very inconsiderate, I think is where we were going with that.
Yeah. It's always been got to deal with Mark's shit, got to deal with Dale's shit, got to deal with, now there's kids involved, and it's just oh, well, I guess Sandra might as well have fucking kidney disease. Just throw it on the pile. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, that won't have any strange consequences when mom has to leave for months at a time and leave dad in charge. There could no way there could be possible long-term consequences.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Talk space. Therapy on your time.
We're checking in with the chandelier.
We are too.
Does everything sparkle? We're good.
Yeah.
that just going to be, oh my God, merch.
That is.
It's just going to be a picture of a chandelier and the question, hey, Grandma, does that sparkle?
We Gucci.
We Gucci.
Shit. Oh, yeah. So Dad gets out of prison that time. So this is round 2 for him. He's out. Round 1 in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
And it's been a little while.
So he was in for how long?
Well, he did what? He got sentenced to 2-year mandatory minimum, consecutive, not concurrent, with a 5 to 15.
And what was his charge?
The mandatory minimum 2 years was a felony weapons charge, using use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. And the other charge, it was 5 to 15, was the home invasion.
Yeah.
That was the plea bargain. They dropped
We
the
talked
attempted.
about that, right?
I don't know, but they did drop the attempted murder and attempted kidnapping charges in exchange for that. Yeah, which if he would have went to trial, he would have won. Because they were like really busy preparing for the trial for the guy that chopped his wife's head off with a shovel. Swear to Bob. Swear to Bob.
Would you like to enlighten me with a little tale?
You know, all right, I will enlighten you. But this is going to be more fucked up than the fact the guy cut his wife's head off with a shovel.
Okay.
I really don't have any more details on that because at the time, that wasn't really that interesting compared to everything else that was going on in our life. Hi, welcome to Pessimism and Pop-Tarts.
It's a shit show. Dun-dun-dun.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how he got that. So he got out at the minimum of 7 years. Because the felony weapons charge can't run concurrently. It has to run consecutive. So for those of you people who are not felons or lawyers, concurrently means you can get charged with 2 crimes at the same time and serve the time at the same time. Consecutive means you have to serve your time on the first charge and then start your bid on the second charge. So that's why he wasn't eligible for parole until 7 years. So he gets out of prison.
And that is the age, for our listeners, that's the age distance between Ryan and I. So now the age in which Ryan was, that Dad went in, when he's now getting out, I am now that age.
Yeah, and I am married with children.
Yep. So it's like it's really weird because there's so much happening in like those few formative years as a teenager and like young adult life. Like so much.
Note.
So much is happening.
Play the song Time Warp again.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but yeah, it was crazy. So like he gets out and you know what? No, I was not married, but I had 2 kids. He was at my wedding. He got out in time just in time for my wedding.
Well, shoot. Aren't you the lucky one?
Hell yeah. So my daddy got to go to my wedding. And when he went in, I was just a pot smoking 15-year-old.
What's up, honey?
Oh, well, fucking get pizza. What the hell?
I'm trying not to interrupt your podcast.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Well,
We'll
you're doing a shit job.
We'll do a pause break. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, now there's a big age difference.
Yep.
Let's see. I was 22. David would have been 20. That would make Christina 17. Then you 15.
Yep.
So our dad got to time travel.
He sure did.
But downside of the time travel is that he traveled 7 years into the future, but it probably felt like 15. Yeah, he's at my wedding and stuff, and that was pretty cool. And we probably covered it in the Christina episode, her and Kyle and whatnot. But yeah, it was crazy. So my kids got to meet their grandpa. So that was pretty cool.
So that means he got to go to Christina's wedding as well. He had to have.
Yeah, I would imagine. I'll have to go back through my Google photos. Yeah, I don't remember how that lined up. Because Christina got married just after I did, right?
More or less. Justin was like 8 months old, maybe.
Yeah.
At the time. And because she had an October wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And she got married at the courthouse.
Yeah, I got married in May, and she goes and fucking gets married in October.
Yeah.
Fucking same year. That's pretty rude. It was my fucking special year.
No, I do remember that because Dad, I had taken a photo of Justin while Matt was in basic training, and so it's that photo of Justin like kind of holding Christina's face as she goes into like she's like cooing at him or something, and I submitted that to a photo contest at the Arts Place in Fremont, and because it's 2005, I leaned in real hard to the patriotism in it. Because we knew that was Toby Keith is writing country songs about kicking the Taliban's ass and all this other stuff. So,
And that was considered appropriate behavior.
and so in my description, I told something along the lines of like, "This is my sister's baby, blah blah blah. She's doing her best to raise him while his father, who is a soldier, is away training to, defend us as Americans," kind of BS. I won the photo competition. And so there was like
Yeah, he was there because this is her birthday party the month before.
Okay.
Or 2 weeks before her wedding. But anyway, sorry.
So, I don't know if Christina wasn't at the ceremony because they had like a big what to do for the, oh my goodness, send me that picture.
Okay.
So they had at a lot of like galleries and things like that. There's like one night where everybody like gathers and talks about the art and whatever else. So they had something kind of like that. And I do remember Dad being there, and he was holding Justin most of the time. And I have a picture of him holding Justin next to the photo.
Jesus. And that one day he held Justin more than he held all of his children combined.
You're not kidding.
Oh.
So because I remember him being there, and I know Christina got married not long after that, I was like, oh, he had to have been at Christina's wedding too.
Yeah. We didn't take pictures with cell phones back then.
Right.
'Cause they were pretty terrible.
All 5 megapixels.
Yeah.
Because a digital camera that you would pay $500 for with a little viewing screen on the back of this silver brick was 12 megapixels, and that was really something. And then
to brag about.
And then when they came out with 24 megapixels, oh my God. The detail.
Yeah, you can actually see the color of people's eyes. They just don't always turn out red.
Yeah, right. So along my timeline of remembering who was where, who, what, when, where. Yeah. So we were talking about Dad being at your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then at the end of the year of 2005 is when I got my transplant. Then we went out to California. Yeah, so I would have been 14, 15.
So he missed Christina graduating.
Yes.
Which that really bothered him. He also missed me graduating too. But he missed and David.
I was going to say, there's another child.
Is he?
Okay. Yep. Just
Well, he doesn't want to join us.
Yeah.
So I'd love to have him.
We'll get him.
We will. We absolutely will. Because he deserves to be here.
Well, there are some stories that like no one can tell them like he
Yeah.
can.
But yeah, he was out for 2 years and it was friggin' awesome, man. Christina fell through his table. What?
Are you going to tell that story?
Oh, my bad. So I thought I
Gloss
did.
over that shit.
I thought that I did in the We Are Family, but just in case I didn't.
Let's do a recap.
Okay. So Dad, when he gets out, like he doesn't want to live at his parents' house because he's too cool for that. So he takes his camper trailer and moves it out to a campground, which is fucking awesome, right? So now like, and my dad's back. So like, for me, like, like my memory of dad's different than yours, right? Like you only knew dad as drug addict.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew him when he was pretending not to be, like when he was like good peoples and stuff, right? And so I had a very different experience. So I was really excited because I was like really happy. Like my kids were going to be able to meet grandpa. And it's going to be the guy that basically I remembered from that age. Right. And so, but he's out at the campground and it's not too far from where we lived in Fremont at the time. So like get out of work or whatever, we'd head over there, have dinner, or like we'd fucking go, like on the weekends, we just hang out there. Yep. Like it was freaking awesome, man. We go out to the campground and just have a freaking blast, and it's out in Bridgeton. So like there's zero fucks given about anything right. Except for children riding the golf cart.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. You can't have children ride the golf cart, Sandra.
Sure can't.
Anyway, so Christina comes out because she lived with us. Not technically, but she lived with us. And so did Justin, her son. And so we come out there. And my ex-wife is really good at drinking. Okay. Like, I'm not knocking her or whatever. Like, she's really good at drinking. And when she drinks, like, she'll have a good time, man. And she can hold her fucking liquor.
She sure can.
She could be like to the point where other people have alcohol poisoning and her little 105-pound fucking ass is still going to whip you. Like it is insane. Right. And so she's sitting there across from our dad, who's not going to be out drank by a little girl. And then there's Christina, who I could only describe as one of the most incorrigible people I've ever met in my life, who's like, yeah, we're going to advance women's rights by out drinking this man.
Uh-huh.
And so they run out of liquor and they did the only thing that made sense. Tell me to go to the store to buy more liquor. Specifically, I get a list. And it's basically buy everything blue. Because my dad's going to make more, he's going to make blue motorcycles.
Yup, he sure is. I knew
so
that. Yep.
I get the blue Caraco and I don't know, all this stuff, right? And all this ice, so cramming it all into the blender and, you know, making up blue motorcycles. And these people are getting retarded. Anyway, but it's Michigan. So what do you do when you're getting drunk and you're camping?
Play euchre.
You goddamn right you play euchre. Because I just said there's dad, there's me.
I wasn't there for the record. I just grew up in Michigan, so I knew the answer.
Yeah. And if you don't have cards, you play dice.
Yeah.
Play 10,000. Anyway, but there's four of us. There's Amy, Christina, and me and dad. So we're playing euchre because there's four of us. It's like heaven is sending us a message.
Uh-huh.
So I am doing my best to keep Amy and Christina drunk because they are the sisters that neither of them ever had. Because you were always like an older sister to Christina. And
I was the voice of reason. I was just never fun.
yeah, and I want you to know, Sandra was the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're all on the same page. So, but Amy and Christina are both yes and sort of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not about like telling stories, but about fuckery.
Yeah.
So they're both going to double down on one another nonstop. So, but they're also euchre partners. So every time their drink gets low, I'm running over to the blender and refilling their glasses. And we get done playing a hand and Christina decides she needs to take a pee. And she's bitching about how I make little fucking bitch drinks. Cause you know, she's classy and that's my sister. As she stands up to go to the bathroom to take a piss, she falls forward through the table and the camper. Like Christina's not a big girl, no. But this is also a camper friggin' trailer table. And it's not like the big kitchen table thing. It's the one in the back by the couch.
Right.
It just folds up on a little fucking
I was
leg.
going to say it's held up by a single peg leg.
Yeah. She fell through that. And got covered in blue motorcycle.
Uh-huh.
You know? And dad, because he's a parent, is pissing himself laughing.
Yeah.
Because this is fucking hilarious. And there's my wife at the time, Amy, like, ha, bitch, you can't hold your liquor. I win. Right. I mean, okay, side tangent. We also didn't have to worry about bugs because Dad got from Grandpa Bill some freaking pesticide that was banned during Vietnam. And he just walked around and poured it around the campsite, like making a perimeter.
DTE or whatever.
It wasn't DEET. That was the bug spray. It was, well, essentially it's Agent Orange.
Right.
Because there's nothing growing. There's not just any bugs. There's nothing growing on that line. Like, it's clear. Like, 2 days later, you're like, yeah, you poured that, didn't you? Oh, how can you tell? You're pretty fucking blind, aren't you? Anyway, so, but that was fun, man. That was great. We were having a good time. And it was important because, like, I also hadn't been able to see Christina for a long time, too. Christina's about to disappear out of our lives, and I don't know. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. DDT.
DDT. Yes. There you go. Yeah. It's made locally. At the Apple Juice Company.
Oh.
I'm glad I covered my mic. Nobody heard that. I would really hate if somebody like heard me say, I would be pretty fucked up. So, well then. Yeah, but that's why I won't say. If I said that on mic, that'd be bad. Anyway, so we'll leave that bit of ancient history of Fremont alone. Yeah. I mean, if people found that out about, that'd be messed up.
Tragic.
That would, yeah.
So instead of there's no milk in my glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make drinks like a bitch and I'm not drunk. And then falls through the table.
We never talked about that there's no milk in my glass on the Christina episode.
We fucking didn't?
No. I started thinking about it afterwards and I was like, oh, we can add that post edit, I'm pretty sure. And then it's the
funniest thing she ever fucking did. All right.
I was too young to remember this, or I wasn't born yet.
No, you were there. You were just little.
Little. Okay.
Yeah. And were you in the hospital?
I wasn't thriving regardless.
No. Either way, you were background noise.
Drooling on myself somewhere.
Yeah, correct. So I'm being a good little house bitch and I'm pouring everybody milk for dinner. So this, like, our parents are still married and stuff. And so we're sitting around the kitchen table upstairs and I'm walking around and I'm like, pouring everybody's milk. And I go and I get to my glass because I'm last. And because that's what you do. And Mom's in the kitchen finishing up whatever. And everybody else sitting at the table. And Christina realizes that I skipped her. And so she's spinning around in a little chair, playing with her little blonde fucking hair. And she's like, there's no milk in my glass. And pours it and flips it upside down above her head.
But did you skip her?
No, she was first. Well, technically second.
She
I filled
just
Dad's
wasn't
glass.
paying attention.
Yeah, I filled Dad's glass, Christina's glass.
Which continued to be a theme for the remainder of her life.
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, I went around the table. And so and it just poured all over her. And she did the only logical thing somebody can think of. Started fucking bawling, crying. And so you gotta like understand, here's this like a little girl. She's like, I don't know, 5 or something. And her hair is soaked from milk. And so is her t-shirt. And she has just embarrassed herself to no end. And she is just heartbroken and crying and sobbing. And I am laughing hysterically. Dad, I shit you not, fell out of his chair and almost went down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like, I had to grab the wall because he literally started to go down the stairs. And then mom is cry laughing, trying to console her.
Yeah.
And yeah, so from then on, everyone wanted to give her any shit. It was just like, oh, there's no milk in my glass.
Yep.
And she would just, like, it didn't matter. Like, she could be like, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I've just discovered the cure for cancer, and I am going to save billions of lives. And we're like, oh, there's no milk in my glass. It's like, shut up, I forgot the cure now.
Can confirm. Never let it go. If it wasn't that, it was David being like, or I'm not the one who got my foot stuck in the fucking couch and fell on my face. She's like, that happened once.
Yeah. So what we're trying to say is love. It's what got our family through it.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've said it a couple times now, but it is just shocking how different all four of us are.
Yeah. I've had this conversation with so many different people who have siblings, and it's like, or even people that just like have, like my friends are having kids right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple of them that they're having kids by like, they planned for this.
Oh, they're doing it on purpose.
Correct.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah. It's really something.
Like somebody was just like, wow, this relationship's going great. Let's pull the goalie known as birth control.
Yeah, we've already been married for years. Why don't we just add to our wonderful family?
Do those people, do they have a therapist or something? Because clearly they need help.
It's out there. It's really something to
and you
witness.
know these people?
I do.
They're real?
Yeah. Some of my best friends. They're wonderful people. Just
Why are they friends with you?
they're just kicking life's ass. And I just say, you go, girl.
Hold on. Are they employed too?
Yep. Some of them, the women, are the breadwinners of their household. And they still work and they still go to school because even though they already have a degree, they're like, I'm going to go to more school. After I have my second baby on purpose, I'm going to go back to school and become more educated because it'll be beneficial to me and my family, my ever-growing family. And I'm like, why are you friends with me?
Yeah.
And I know you're going to be listening to this episode, and I hope you're laughing your ass off.
I told you I paid Svetlana $20 a week on Cash App to be your friend. I'm assuming that's one of the people you're talking about. I don't know. But okay.
So these people, when they're like, oh, it's funny that my kid has this quirk and this quirk. And then this friend over here is just like, oh, it's so weird that, you know, my daughter does this and my second daughter is like this. And then I have a son who's like completely different. And I'm like, that doesn't surprise me at all. I was like, do you know how many people in my childhood, teachers especially, they're like, oh, great, you're Christina's little sister. Oh, you're or way back. My shop teacher, Mr. Gray. Oh yeah, I had Kent and Troy in my class, and I'm like, I'm like horrified. Which, for listeners at home, way throwback. Those are my uncles. Those were Grandma's youngest kids.
The ones that tried to drown me in the creek?
Yeah, there we are.
That episode? Yeah.
There we are. So yeah, I always bring that up, that I'm just like, of course they're different.
Yeah. But are they different? Like your oldest, it has like dark hair, fucking solid dark eyes, olive complexion, looks like they just climbed down from Mount Olympus, and another one looks like a Viking princess. Like different? With the same parents?
I mean, some of them.
Yeah, with completely different personalities.
Uh-huh.
Like one of them's like, look at me, I win art competition. And the other one's like, yeah, the reason why you're so fucking stupid is because there wasn't nothing left in the gene pool because it was all chlorine by the time it got to you.
I mean, that's one of the nicest ways I've heard you say that.
I've said that about David so many times. He'd be like, he'd be complaining about something. He'd say, how do you figure this out? And I'm like, that's because when the gene pool came around to you, there was nothing left but chlorine. And he's like, what the fuck's that mean? And I'm like, that's my point. Evan, your mom would get all mad. She's like, would you quit picking on your brother?
I guess maybe the meaner ones came from Christina.
I wouldn't say anything too mean to you. Like, I loved you and Christina. I love David too, but just different. Like, he pissed me off all the time. Like, you guys are sufficiently younger than me where you're like, you guys are like legit younger siblings. Like, David's 2 years younger. A sibling that's 2 years younger is meant to be tortured. Like, Christina's 2 years older than you. That's the purpose of having that separation. That's, that's what happens with Irish twins. Is it? Yeah, we already covered that. It's still PC.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, but I was always relatively much nicer to you guys than I was David.
Yeah, but I mean, also we're girls.
Fair enough. Like, yeah, you're right. Typically, I'd say in general in life, I'm much nicer to girls. That's weird. But anyway, good things come to an end, as I believe we covered on the Christina episode. Well, Dad got arrested again.
Yep.
This time for operating a vehicle while intoxicated, resulting in death.
Mm-hmm.
He got charged as a habitual offender on account of being a habitual offender. So he got 50% added to his sentence. So he was supposed to do, I'm trying to remember. He got sentenced like 7.5 to 22 years or something.
Yeah, it was really broad.
Yeah. Because I think it was supposed to be another 5 to 15 bid, but when you had the 50%, yeah. Because that was the problem. You didn't, marinate long enough last time. He goes away for that. And, as always, he goes back, to jail, and we're talking to him through the phone, like fist bumping through the glass. Sup, bro? But this time, like, my wife's with me, so that's weird. One story I will share real quick about Dad. Forgive me if I said it on We Are Family, but I don't think I did. So Josh was having a birthday party. I think it might have been like his second birthday or something. We're at Pizza Hut because we're fancy as fuck. And Amy and I wanted to show we were doing well, so we invited everybody out to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, like, Dad goes and uses the bathroom and never comes back.
Do you remember what this was actually for?
No, I don't remember. I was assuming. Oh, no, Josh threw up at the thing. It wasn't his birthday, though.
It was my birthday.
It was your birthday. Okay. I was like, no, why was it Josh? Why am I thinking of Josh? And I'm like, it's because he threw up all those hot dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
We went, Dad's out and he's like trying to be a dad while also still struggling with his drug addiction.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like of the hour, which one is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And, but now I'm like old enough to really be involved in the consequences of this. Before I was just sort of, sheltered and I can just like be at home and do my own thing. But now that I'm like out and try to be a part of things, it's my 15th birthday. Mm-hmm. And Dad's like, I really want to go all out for this. I want to plan a whole thing. So he said, or you said, let's go to Pizza Hut. Mm-hmm. And then Dad said afterwards we can go bowling. Like Mom was going, all of you guys were going. You brought Josh and Jenna.
Oh, I remember, yeah, because I had to pick up the tab.
Yeah. And so it was a whole big thing. And Dad was there when we got there. And I was like a little apprehensive because like I'm still like trying to pick up this relationship that I've never had with my father. And this was like, I was like, oh, this is really nice. Like he's planning this thing that's for me.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we all sit down and then he's like, well, I got to go to the bathroom. And we're like, yeah, whatever. And then he does go to the bathroom. Mm-hmm. But the way it is in the restaurant, you have to walk around this wall partition and the bathrooms are right by the front door. So unless you're really, really looking, you're not going to see someone slip out the door.
Yeah, it's like a step and a half.
Yeah. And so we're waiting and we're like, he hasn't come back yet. So Ryan's just like, yeah, I'll go check on him, see what he's doing. And I remember you coming back to the table and you just very like solemnly are like,
we can order.
Yep. He's not coming back. He's gone. And I was at this point old enough to understand what was happening and why he left. And I was just kind of like, this entire time, like, this guy who's supposed to be my dad, I always kind of felt like an afterthought, like, a little bit. Like, he's never really gone out of his way just for me. Like, he does stuff for us kids, but he's never done anything special for me. He'll do things special for Christina, but, you know, that was his little girl first and foremost. And I just happened to show up a little bit later and also happen to be a girl. But most of his relationship is with Christina. Mm-hmm. And so this made me feel very special.
By the way, also not David.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a different thing, but also not David, because that was a thing for him. And
Yes.
still is.
Yes.
It bothers him. So.
Yeah. And it should.
Yeah.
It's horse shit.
Yeah. I mean, for me, to him, I guess I may as well have been a girl, but not cute like Christina. So he didn't.
So now that he's gone, I'm like, okay, so we ate our pizza. And then we still went to the bowling alley, and like you said, you picked up the tab because you're just like, well, I guess we're party is just show must go on. So we just kept going with it, and we went to the bowling bowling place. Why can't
Bowling alley.
Thank you. Words.
Because you're confused because he was buying crack in an alley.
Oh my god. So we ended up going to Fremont Lanes, and I remember just being like I was over all of it, and I didn't even want to be at the bowling alley. It was just kind of like, can we just go home kind of thing. But I think we bowled like 2 games, but my score that night was a 6.
You did really well, yeah.
I did fantastic.
I mean, you showed the gutter who the fuck was.
Yeah, I just kept walking up and just throwing the ball like fucking whatever. I was basically numb. I was like, okay, so this really solidifies what this is. Okay.
Yeah, we pretty much walk in and they just turn out the lights, turn on the black lights, and you're like, it's the Depresso Espresso Hour.
We're ready to party.
Because like all of us were like,
and I'm like, my dad doesn't love me.
That wasn't all that was going on though, because this was like something that was really troublesome that I was dealing with, because so I had told Amy a lot about Dad, but not everything, but just, I'm not gonna lie, to some degree she thought I was exaggerating.
Right.
But when I come in and I'm just like, oh yeah, we can order. He's not coming back. And we all just carry on like fucking Tuesday.
Yep.
She realized that, oh, this is on brand.
Yeah.
Because what she knew of him is this fun guy she just met.
Yeah, because when he first got out, so he's technically clean, and he is trying to make an effort. Mm-hmm. He's like, okay, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna, my kids are older. Like I gotta put in the work now. They're becoming their own people, and he's like, I just got to do it. And he was, to his credit, he was doing some things, but also you have to remember he was addicted to drugs, and he came back into a household and an environment that had not changed a single millimeter, inch, not a bit.
Yeah.
And like we're in Grandma's dining room, and weeks ago we just took down those portraits that had been up.
Mausoleum.
The
shrines.
Her house has looked the same forever.
Unless someone died.
Yeah.
And then a new
picture. But like the same paint, the same wall paneling, the same high traffic carpet is still in the, like, nothing has changed. So, just from a psychological standpoint, Dad's walking back into the same environment that got him into this mess. Like, yeah, he is making decisions to participate in this, but it's proven that if you're back into the same environment, same surroundings, same friends,
yeah,
you just kind of get back into drugs again, because your brain is just like, all right, let's do this thing. And that's, ultimately what he did. So, when he got out, he is making this effort, and we're all like, oh my God, like, we do have a dad again. This is great. But then now he's like, slowly trickling back into this life. And because he's doing that, it's now like trickling back into ours again very slowly. And then he starts falling into these same habits again. And then we're like, oh, this feels familiar. And it's like, okay, yes, this is happening. So.
And I had told Amy to tampen her expectations.
Yeah.
And she didn't get it. And so at that moment, and while we're bowling and all this, I have this going on. I have my OG daughter, Sandra, who I cared for, like, one of my, like she was a child, like when I was still a child. And, our dad let us down again, right? And for me, I'm doing what I always do. Okay, well, I'm going to pick up the pieces. We're just going to move on. We're just going to know whatever. But so I got Sandra going through that realization. And at the same time, I got my wife, looking at me like, holy shit, I can't believe this. Like I have to process this now. And meanwhile, I have my daughter looking at me saying, where's Grandpa? I don't understand. Why isn't Grandpa here? I want to sit with Grandpa. And so, like, I have these two stages of my life combining over the same sad thing. And it's, for me, playing over in my head. It's Sandra. When I'm looking at Jenna, wanting to know where Grandpa is, it's all over in my head. Little baby Sandra saying, where's my daddy? Where'd Dad go? And, and I had made a commitment where I was like, I'm going to raise my kids differently than how I was raised. But here I all am, and it's all the same.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Okay.
Oh. All right.
So, yeah, our dad's a crackhead.
Yep.
Not anymore, but still was. Anyway, goes back to prison. Yep. Operating a vehicle while intoxicated, resulting in death. Long bid all over again. County jail again for a while. Gets his PSI report. That's pre-sentence instructions for those of you who are non-felons or non-lawyers. Gets sent back to quarantine again. And he gets released. He's at a facility in Jackson, even bigger shithole than Cotton. We went and visited him once at this facility. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it looked like a prison like from RoboCop, the first one. I mean, it was a shithole. They've since closed that one because it's ancient and decrepit. And they were like, there's no amount of money that's going to make this place okay again.
Yeah.
Without a bulldozer and starting all over. So he got transferred up north, like up to Lake Superior and shit.
Yeah. It was way up there.
Yeah. Like Camp Cusino, which is on fucking Lake Superior. And like, that was like the weirdest prison we've ever been to. Because like they were Canadian nice.
Yeah. It was like a really chill summer camp.
Like super fucking chill. Like it could not be more different.
We were just so used to the Cotton facility, and like you couldn't frickin' sneeze right without them being like, go the fuck home. And
I didn't realize how well we were trained by the Michigan Department of Corrections.
Isn't that funny? That we're just like, oh, it's, we're watching our P's and Q's. And I was like upset because during this trip, we went all the way up there. It's a fucking, what was it, like a 4-hour drive past, we got to cross the bridge, the Mackinac Bridge.
Yeah, it's like 10 or 12 hours to get up there.
Yeah.
It's fucking forever.
It was an insane drive. It was worse than going to Jackson this time around. So we really wanted to make sure we had everything in the car. Thought Grandma was mad before. She'll fucking leave us.
Yeah.
In the Upper Peninsula.
And you'll find out why that would be so bad here in a moment. But yeah.
But I remember I brought this drawing and I was going to bring it in to show him. I don't even remember what it was a drawing of. It was just something I made in school or something, and I was proud of it, so I wanted to bring it to show him, because the only other way for him to see it is for me to mail it to him.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was no guarantee I'd get it back. So I was
he'd get it.
Correct. So I was just like, I wonder if I could bring it. And I think I asked him, and he's like, yeah, we can just bring it next time. And so we got all the way up there. And then once we were in the visiting room, it came around to me for me to talk about what's going on in my life. And I was like, oh shit, I left the drawing in the car. And I was like, oh my God, we came all this way and I left a drawing in the car. And I think Grandma asked one of the guards, like, can she run back out to the car and, like, go grab it? And, like, that is not something you did.
No.
At the cotton facility.
God, no.
Don't even ask.
No, because you all have to check out. He has to go sit at the wall.
Yep.
And you have to go through the whole process
It'd be like
over
an hour yeah. Like, don't. And one of the guards is just like, oh, yeah. Like, you want to run back out to the parking lot and go get this thing? Like.
Unescorted?
Yeah.
Minor, unescorted? Yeah,
yep.
Sure. Whatever.
Yeah, he's just like, well, I'll just stand by the door and like buzz you back in.
Yeah.
Like, just go and grab it. Grandma gave me your car keys. I went out and I like.
Now, again, she had her car keys. They were not locked in the locker.
Yeah. Right. So I just remember that being like so, I don't know. It blew my mind that was being allowed. I was waiting to get like shot any second.
Yeah, speaking of that.
From a sniper tower.
Do I got a story about that?
Like, this, like any moment now, someone's gonna like pull back the curtain and be like, like this, like, no. You thought you could do this? Who told you could do that? Like.
Yeah, we're gonna throw your father in the wood chipper now.
Yeah, right. Anyway, I got my drawing. He buzzed me back in like I was going back to class, checked my hall pass.
Yeah.
To see my dad in prison. And it's just like, yeah, you just go. He's like, I know where you're sitting. Just go right back over there. And I'm like, my hands are shaking with my drawing. And I'm like, I drew this duck.
Do you like my duck?
Do you like it?
You're probably gonna die for it. We probably all are.
Yep.
The first time we went up there, y'all went to go check in, and because we can't smoke in Grandma's van, I'm immediately like, all right, I'm gonna smoke in this parking lot. I just gotta hide. And like, this isn't a big prison like Jackson, where I'm gonna duck in between these cars and do this really suspicious thing. Like, I'm like, fuck. And I'm just standing out there in the dirt parking lot, fucking smoking my Winston Light.
I was just about to say the dirt. I was just like, this is a small prison.
It's camp.
But it is in the Upper Peninsula, so just picture this. So it's got the really tall razor wire around this yard with the building. Mm-hmm. However, it is surrounded by the very dense woods of the Upper Peninsula, and there's a dirt parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could easily drive by it looking for something else. If you don't look out your car window that direction, you don't know you just passed a prison.
Oh, and by the way, like, the fence doesn't go all the way around it, but I'll get to that in a second. So, like, I'm standing out there and I'm smoking, and I turn around and there is a SUV stopped. It is the guy that drives around.
Okay.
And I immediately do the thing that I know I'm supposed to do because I now have contraband, a cigarette, so I fucking drop it. And he's like, hey, that cigarette, you're not even halfway done with that. You shouldn't throw that. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm busted. So I pick my cigarette back up and I go back to smoking it. And he's like, hey, just so you know, you got to be careful about smoking on the grounds here. And he's like, just make sure that you put that out real well before you throw it in the garbage can, okay? He's got a fucking Marlboro hanging out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, they don't let you smoke at the Robert Cotton facility. And he's like, oh, is that's one down there in Jackson, huh? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, just make sure it's out. Don't just throw it in the garbage can, and don't throw it in the parking lot. No littering. I'm like, so I can finish my cigarette, and he'd be like, well, it would be a waste if you put it out now, eh? And that was it. I was just like, this is a trap. This is a fucking trap.
At any place we were while we were there, we were waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, we were so well trained.
It was insane. Like, I didn't realize it until we went somewhere else. And then, like, they didn't have a fence around the whole place. Like, the heat and hot water was through wood boilers. So the prisoners are out there with fucking axes chopping down trees so they had heat in the winter and hot water year round. Let me repeat that. The prisoners, people sentenced to prison for being literal axe murderers have axes to chop down trees for the wood boilers. Like, totally relaxed. And like, you could easily escape out of this place. Like, no problem. And here's the thing, like, they didn't give a fuck if you wanted to escape. Knock yourself out. Where you going?
Yep. I know that's right.
During the summer, you're going to get eaten alive by gnats.
Uh-huh.
And during the winter, what are you going to do? Like, dig a snow tunnel to freedom?
Right.
Where are you digging it to? Like across Lake Superior to Canada?
Right.
Where the fuck are you going? And so they're just like, oh yeah. Somebody, like dad said something about, I think he said 2 people escaped when he was there. One person was so thankful to be found so he could go back to prison. Another person after like a week or a few days or whatever out, like was flagging down snowmobilers for somebody to take him back to prison. Like, where you going?
Oh my God.
And not too, like, down the road from there was the maximum security prison. And I mean, I guess that was pretty tight. But I mean, again, if you escaped out of that, where are you going? Like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're on the outside now. Now what?
You get eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
Or you get kicked to death by a moose
Yep.
that's territorial, and
Yep.
then you get eaten by a bear.
Yeah. The entire time getting fucking ate by murder gnats.
Mm-hmm. Or
While-
mosquitoes.
Yep. While you're waiting to die.
Yeah.
Place sucks. So yeah, they were like, yeah, we don't need a fence. This is the UP. Where are you going?
Yeah.
I mean, Uber wasn't a thing, but it's not like even now you could hail an Uber up there. I mean, where are you going?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the place. And he was there for quite a while until the Michigan Department of Corrections decided to shut it down because they didn't want to spend money, I think, to drill a new well or something. Because clearly there's no city water. So they were like, all right. When Dad got sent back to Cotton, which sucked because Cotton's an all-level facility because it's the only medical facility. So because of his glaucoma, which is how he got paroled the first time because they didn't want to pay for his glaucoma medication. Because that's just how the criminal justice system works. If you're too expensive, they get rid of you. And that's actually how he got paroled the second time too. His eye drops cost the state like $1,200 a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're like, he needs to get the fuck out of here. They were like, yeah, we think you're reformed. Get the fuck out. How much did you cost us? Go. But yeah, he spent 7.5 years. And so during that time, he missed David getting married. He missed Christina's funeral. Well, he missed my kids growing up.
Mm-hmm.
A good chunk of it. I mean, by the time he got out, like, I didn't even live in the area anymore. Matter of fact, him going to prison is what prompted Amy and I to move the second time. Because Amy worked at the Fremont Walmart, and she was getting shit from coworkers about, her father-in-law being the one that killed the Amish person. The Amish girl.
That was going to be one of my questions.
That's why we moved. What do you do with that? So we moved to Flint because that's where people go when they want to hide. We just want, it kind of got to the point where it was like, all right, well, we need to go someplace where nobody knows who we are. Nobody cares where we come from, and we can just blend in and have an honest chance, just like everybody else, and see what happens. And so that's what we did.
That was one of the reasons I was so excited to go to college. I had all new teachers, all new peers, because everybody knew me as, like, when you went to prison the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I was in 3rd grade, had just started 3rd grade, and I remember this girl who wasn't even in my friend circle, but she was in my graduating class, came up to me in the little gymnasium at Pathfinder, and she says, did your dad really try to kill your mom? And I have a touch of the autism, so I was a little point blank about it, and I was like, yeah, as I'm eating my
fruit cup or whatever.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah. And she was like so startled by like I confirmed her fears. And because no one was really talking to me about it, but obviously people were talking about it.
Yeah.
I won't name her, but I know who she was, and once in a while I'll still see her in town when I come to Fremont. But yeah, she just walked up. Did your dad really do that? Yeah. Oh. Did she say anything else? She just walked away. And I'm like, that was something. So the night that Dad had his second accident, he actually called me before the police picked him up. I think he called everybody.
He did.
But he called my cell phone at the time. Didn't have service at Mom's house. And so I didn't get his message until I was on the bus the next morning and knew everything that happened. And it was just a quick, simple voicemail that said something along the lines of, I did something bad, and I probably won't see you for a very long time. I'm sorry, and I love you. And that was kind of it.
If you like the podcast you just heard, please like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, check us out at patreon.com/pessimism and Pop-Tarts. There are special benefits for members, such as ad-free listening, early access, and free and discounted merch for members. There's a plan for any budget, from tent campers to those of you MFers throwing around RV money. You can also get the latest updates on our website, pessimismandpoptarts.com. Whether you're a patron or just like the show, please tell your friends. And if you hate the show, you know what? Tell your enemies, because frankly, they sound awesome. Anyway, until next time.
And more music.